Check, check, check one, check two.
So I'm looking in my notebook and I'm like reminding myself to talk to Ken about this. Like, okay, like the letters, like the letter L is the big one because L is also in Israel, Elohim, L is God. So they use L as two L's as in hell. So L, I noticed that, and they're interchangeable. Sorry, go ahead.
The double L. Sorry, go ahead.
The double L is a big one. And what's the Twin Towers? Double L. G is a big one too, obviously for the Masons, and so I've been.
What's with the letter J? I have to. Anyone who's ever watched me talk about anything knows that I'm absolutely infatuated with the J and Jesus and the ignorance that surrounds the praying in the name of Jesus when the J didn't exist till 1400. It drives me freaking nuts.
Well, let's think about this.
In Jesus' name, amen. And in Jesus and this, and I'm like, I'm not going down the road of what was Jesus. I'm talking about the name Jesus. So can you talk about that for a little bit? Indulge me.
Okay, so J for me, and from my writings that I've compiled, J for me is it's the number 10 in numerology, in gematria. It's the number 10. And what are we made up of? What codes are we made up of? 1 and 0.
1 and 0. Yeah.
Well, that's the springboard. Was J is the springboard to 12. 12 is a big one too. The 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 apostles who we know are symbolic of the zodiac. So 10 is 1s and 0s, the binary code, which make up. Did you ever see that show Severance?
I know. I've seen the guy's head open icon, but I've never watched the show.
I didn't want to either, but then I was glad I did. There's a lot of, because they give us a lot of clues, which is the only reason why I watch their nonsense. But 1 and 0, so that's the J. And another thing about Jesus is it has us in it. US. Us, for me, S is huge because of the two S's with Nazis, which I did a video on not see, because not see is not see. If you cover your eyes, you don't see. And if that's related to the Anunnaki, do you know what I'm saying? The Nazis, the Anunnaki, is their connection, I'm sure. And those are the same, let's call them archons or beings that's, I'm sure, connected to the Jesus, the Jesuits, the Jesus whole, which for me, it's just symbology. If there was a Jesus and a crucifixion, it's all related to the sun, because the sun rises and then falls in the equinox, and this is all a pattern, and it creates an S pattern when you study it, because right now we're in the fall, and then we're going to rise, and the resurrection of the human, of the soul, the real souls, we are resurrected. If Jesus really, if that occurred, that was in another simulation, in my opinion. It didn't happen here.
What about the letter X and the they say the mark of the beast? It's on your head, which is a cross. We're in simulation X, or we're in whatever this is the land of X. It's the land of X, Twitter, Xbox. The X's go on forever. Everything that comes up now, AIX, everything is X. So wherever we're doing now, we're in X.
I think that we're in X too, and I think X. Well, would X look at X is in the word exit? So X marks the spot. I mean, the thing is if we're in a holographic world, if we're in a simulation, and perhaps these elite controllers know where the X is, the exit, and we don't. So X is also a symbol. X is the cross. X is the cross.
It's actually, no, I don't mean to correct you like I know, but this is one of my theories. We're in the time of X because X is the fallen cross. If you look at the cross, it's fallen.
Well, that's what I was getting at.
It's a fallen cross. So is this Satan's little season? Is that what it's pointing out to?
Well, that's what I was, right. That's what I was getting at. It is a cross. It's an angled cross. They're all angled, but they're connected. The X is also connected like the T. If you hold out your arms, you are the T, right? No, if you hold them out, not together, you're a T. If you hold them straight up, you're the hangman. I mean, the letters are symbols. So X is definitely, is it Satan's little season? Well, then that's so religious to me. And then that goes off on something else. Because I just think, I mean, yes, they worship Lucifer, Yaldabaoth, Moloch, right. So, and they know the nature of our reality. So they know what X is. X is for me, it's the content. It is this current overlay. This system, what I would say would be X related to the cross. Yes. Yes.
Or
Yes.
like, do you listen to Jason Bashir's? He talks about AIX.
I do. My only thing, and I like him a lot. The only thing with him is that it's a lot of data and a lot of history. And then I
Yep.
can't, because I don't believe in it. Yes.
Hello, you still there? I think you froze.
It's
See,
my
come back
problem.
on.
Oh,
There you go.
I lost you
You're
for a
back.
second.
You're okay. So you're saying the history. Yep.
I don't trust a lot of history. I can't go back to 41,000 BC and think about that because our consciousness is not there. How do you know? How do you know that occurred? How do you know?
It was written, and I think that might be some of his point. His point could be a lot of the fact that everything in events have just been overlaid and repeated based on patterns and algorithms, which I think is 100% correct.
That part is true.
Yep. So I think that's what he's saying, is that he's saying that artificial intelligence has X, it marked the spot or whatever. He's saying it's cycled through events, and so you can mark the spots based on, it's fake because all the events seem to line up in certain things, which absolutely could be the case. What you're saying is true too. You can't go back and see that. You can't verify that by anything.
Well, I've always read a lot too, and my background has done a lot of reading too. And I guess when I read books, I do pick up on patterns, but it's the language for me. Just like we're talking about the word dimension. The word dimension has die in it. It has men, as in man. It has men for mind, right? So there's all kinds of, or consciousness. Consciousness starts with con. So does conspiracy. Con, C-O-N. I believe that we're inside of a ring. So a letter that's very important to me in everything that I research and have been given in my messages is O. O is a huge letter because we're in the ring. Think Lord of the Rings. Think when you get married, you wear a ring. Oh, we're inside of a ring. Now, some would say Saturn's ring. I understand Saturn's ring. But do you believe that the planets are planets like we're told?
No.
I don't. They're frequencies.
No, they're not
planets. They're frequencies. The only difference in they're not fixed, they're wandering stars. So we're inside of an O and receiving. So they've got the zodiac is an O. What are the first two letters of the zodiac? It's Oz. Oz, right? Right? Z is a big one too. Oz. And there's the letter O for the ring. So the ring of control, if you will, as well. If that makes sense?
Well, I mean, like I said, everything seems to happen to me, and the things that have happened in my life. So I was sitting after I went to college, came back home, lived with my parents for a few years or a year or two. I bought a house. I was sitting in my room. I can remember it clear as day. I put in on the computer to my left. I'm looking at some website, ESPN or something. Before pop-ups.
Right.
I put in my VHS, went to Blockbuster, put in a movie called The Ring. So I put in the movie called The Ring, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden on my computer screen, The Ring pops up, the ad for The Ring, before pop-ups. And I looked at it like, like I looked at it like, this isn't, like, how is that even making sense? Like, I just put in a VHS tape, and a pop-up came on my ESPN app. I wasn't even touching it. So yeah, things seem to happen to me like that. Maybe that this is some kind of a ring, and that was trying to signal to me that something was paying attention to what I was doing, or maybe I should pay more attention. But yeah, those things happen to me quite a lot. It happened to me also. I got off of a movie watching called White Noise. I went to watch the second White Noise in Nashville when I was living there, and my friend was drove separately, and I went to pick up my phone. And I went to call him and tell him, hey, let's go to the restaurant over there. And nothing happened. It dialed, said it was dialing. And all of a sudden I heard this shh, like it was static. And then I'm like listening, like, this is bullshit. What is this? So I'm like watching my phone, looking at it, put my ear in my phone, and I heard, and I'm like, holy shit, like, I was like, this is just, it's too much going on here for me to pay attention or not pay attention to what was going on. But, again, watching white noise, and then I get white noise and something says my name in my phone when it says it's not even connected. So we're in something. And
don't you think
it.
people like you, people like me, and I have talked to Rob in email, which he said, and I did say I would go on his show too, and like people, even Jason, okay, so I have found more of people that I'm in line with on my frequency, that are on videos, even though I have a group where I live, I am part of a flat earth group, and that's great because then you're with them and you can actually talk without them going, what, like
Judging.
looking at you like you have 9 heads or not understanding you. So what I have wondered sometimes is, let's say you're watching a video with Jason or whatever. So, and then something pops up and you're like, I just had that thought. I just had that thought yesterday or an hour ago. Do you notice that? So
all the time. Yeah, for sure.
it leads me to believe that we are on one conscious or one frequency.
Yeah.
We are connected somehow. And I'm going to say something that you may or may not agree with, but I don't think there's that many of us.
No, of course there's not. There's not as many as we think there is, for sure.
And actually, I don't mean population. I mean us that are getting. What do you think? Yeah. I think it's a very small number.
Yeah, I've seen 5% of the world's population potentially. I've heard 20%. I think it's probably more like 5 and 10 than that. And I don't know what that means. Again, it could mean that everyone's kind of like subdivided, and that could be 5% of people that have the potential to be telepathic or potential to connect or on some frequency. It could be that the other 95% are on another frequency, or it could be that 20 are on a frequency, and that 20 more on a frequency, and then 5 are on a frequency. I don't know how the whole thing works, but
like a radio, kind of like a radio station.
Could be, yeah, it could be, and the collective consciousness isn't actually collective. It's just subdivided into levels of consciousness. That's definitely possible.
Yes, that's exactly what I've thought too. And other words that came to me quite some time ago is just everyday words like person, per the sun, because the O and the U are interchangeable. Son of God, son. We are persons. And then there are even demons, demon. And then we have the background characters. I think that's absolutely right that we have a subdivision here. We have different types, and maybe it's like it could be even related to the blood type, could be related to the ancestral line. But we are getting these messages. We are going, things are not right here. This is weird. Why am I noticing these patterns? I go out and I just saw the same thing yesterday, or I just had a thought and I heard it again. Now that could be related to AI too, right? I don't know how you feel, but I feel like AI, this is a type of AI, has always been here for me.
Yeah. I mean, so I think there's nothing new under the sun as far as technology is concerned. I think that the way that we connect things through technology is there. I think before Bluetooth, that was there. The towers are like all the towers and things that are going up, or the technological advances have always been there. We just found a way to connect them. The same way that radio frequencies have been there the whole time, and we just connect them.
Well, there's waves, right? There's waves, right? Like the towers. I don't know if I can say that word. 4H. Well, I'll say 4H. I can? Okay, 5G. Yeah. So, like, that's so unnecessary. We don't need that. And what is that doing? It's producing waves. I mean, it's doing some type of it's connecting somehow to our antennas, which our body, we are like a computer or battery when we have antennas, and we're like receiving. It's doing something with waves. And I mean, what do you do when you raise your hand? You wave your hand, right? You're a wave. You're a waveform, essentially.
We're all waves, and we're all particles. And I think it has to do with the observer effect in quantum physics. And I think that a lot of the things that we've been told, even now, are misdirections. I think I've thought about the observer effect and the wave and the particle a lot in the past month or so, and I really believe it's an attention, a focusing of attention. I don't think that we are all waves and particles. I think it's just the attention that we want to be in. And I think they kind of got that wrong a little bit, but I'm still exploring that as far as how to make that fit. I will say that I came to an aha moment in my life about a month ago, and I'm not really sure how to explain this, but I asked for like a sign of what was going on around me, that I was in tune with it, or that I was focusing on the right things. And I watched the video. I'll try to see. I posted the video on my channel about a month ago, and I made a comment that I've just basically proven that science is not science. So I've been saying for a few months that not every effect has a cause, and that literally disproves science in general. If you think about how things connect at the quantum level, I've been saying for a while that some things don't have a cause. The effects don't have a cause. I get a symbol in my car in the window. There's no cause. There's no reason why that appeared. There's no reason why that was logically presented to me. And so when I've been going through that for the past, I don't know, 6, 7 months, a year, actually over a year, that I was telling that to Rob on his platform a little more than a year ago. I was watching a quantum CERN documentary, or on YouTube. It wasn't a documentary, sorry. It was just a CERN YouTube video, and they said they actually proved that that for a certain period of time, the smartest people in the world were saying that not all causes have, or not all effects have causes. And I thought, where's my Nobel Prize? Because if I've just disproved science through theory, and then they proved it, I mean, I don't need to be recognized, but I think it should be a fact. I think it should be a fact. Like,
yes, I know. I know. I'm just laughing because I know it's, well, really, Nobel Prize should be noble, because they only praise themselves, don't they? The nobles praise themselves, right? So anything that we've come up with, I've had those moments too. Like, I'm like, God, I'm amazed at my own self. This is genius. I've discovered genius thing. You know what I mean? But will we ever be recognized? I mean, but think about this. We're in an inversion. We live in an inverted mirror type consciousness. So we are the supreme beings, those of us who have souls, who are on this frequency, but we're like shrunk down because we're the existence that do you know what I mean? We're not whatever we discover, you or myself,
we don't
or
discover
Jason.
anything.
Right. We would never be. We would be maybe they would actually they would do something awful to us. I mean, they don't want.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think this is a soul trap. So, because there's just I hear people talk about it, and I'm like, do you know how many amazing things have happened to me that I can't explain? That, I mean, literally, there's no cause to the effect. Packages showing up with my name on them that were, a $500 package, and symbols and money going into my account. At some point in time, how the hell can you think that this is a soul trap when these positive things are happening to me? Maybe they're gonna make a negative effect later. I don't know. But
no, but I don't even think they're positive. No, I don't think they're
incredible stuff going on.
I know it's amazing, because I've thought that too. Like, messages that I get, or things that I've seen that I've figured out. I'm like, oh my God, I just cracked this code. You're cracking codes too. We're cracking codes, and it's like, and it's beyond just numbers and language. I mean, I've realized. So, okay, thought form, music, lyrics, thoughts. Like, that's everything. That's what's in the word earth is ear. We're sound, we're thought. So there's no cause. If it's a scripted reality, let's say, if this is all scripted, which I'm not sure if you believe, I do. not to say that we don't have any influence, because I do think we do. We definitely, you have to engage with it. You have to engage with it and acknowledge it. And is it a blessing or a curse? Because sometimes when I talk to my friends, even in
Probably
New
both.
Orleans, which is we're on a ley line. Everybody's, wired there. It's an amazing spiritual place. Our bodies are above ground. We should be on a certain wavelength, right? But so the closest friends that I have, I'll say something, but they're on the program. And so we are the select few. I mean, there is something different. Think about even the closest people when you say these things. Well, do they really understand? Do they really understand you? What you're saying?
Probably not. Definitely, nobody will ever understand me completely because I'm always doing something else. I'm on to the next thing. I come back to it later. I'm like the bubble in the ocean that just keeps moving around looking for different things to entertain me, basically. I'm not alone. Like I said before, I think that there's no original thought here either, and that's one of the theories that I have right now is that all these things that are in the ether or in the simulation can get bumped to somebody else, or a thought goes somewhere else. It's just.
But if we're all receivers, they're not receiving them. You're receiving.
Now that is true.
You're receiving the special messages. I'm receiving them.
But who are they from?
Yeah,
who are they from?
that's okay. Well, if I were going to give the best, I would. They're from another side. They're from another. Okay, like think about you have the invisible self. There's you. Now you have a body area network, an energy field that surrounds you that you cannot see. And the CIA even lists this, and I've flown them. I can say that I don't think these are not good people.
Yeah, that's have you looked at the Gateway tapes?
The Gateway tapes.
The Gateway Project.
That does what project?
The Gateway Project. Robert Monroe.
Robert. Yes.
Yeah. So that's another interesting. You said the CIA. I thought you were going there. I apologize. Go ahead. We can go back to that.
Well, no. Okay. Let me say one thing real quick on that. For me, these projects are really project. Like, think of Project Paperclip. Well, if you look at a paperclip and you stretch it apart, it creates the Freemason symbol, right? It does. So Project Paperclip. Everything is project. Project Bluebeam. Wasn't there one called Bluebeam?
Yeah, that's projecting. It's the alien invasion.
Yeah. Right. But it's project because they're projecting. If you're in a holographic universe, if you're in a simulation, everything's projected here. Right? Even you.
That's true. You're right. It is a project.
So it's project. So you're saying about Robert Monroe. Now that sounds really familiar. I believe I've read a book that he wrote. He was an author, right?
Yes. So I don't know what books I don't read, so I just experience. I hate reading. I'll listen and watch YouTube all day. I get my information from other people.
Right.
Sometimes it's audible books, but I don't read them. But Robert Monroe and Tom Campbell were involved in the Gateway Project, where they were doing hemisync for astral projection. And this is where Robert Monroe went out of body and said that they were looshing energy. And so when people say that about the energy harvesting and the looshing, I always, if I'm around, I'll say, well, why did Tom Campbell, who was right next to him, not believe that? Why does Tom Campbell have a simulation theory of my big toe and has nothing to do with loosh energy or demonic beings trying to harvest our energy? So when you talk about the CIA projects and the missing pages, or the things that have to do with astral projection and potentially soul trap, you have to look at both sides of the coin. Of if somebody's working side by side with somebody else, and that's your interpretation, but somebody else did something else, you should always entertain both sides of the coin. Right. Which is where I thought you were going to the CIA stuff with the Gateway tapes.
We got a little sidetracked.
A little bit. That's what I said was going to happen.
But that's okay. But you did make me think of one thing too. I don't know if you've had OBEs. I had a lot of OBEs as a teenager, and it's something that you never forget. And possibly, maybe I wouldn't even be the same person if I hadn't had them. It certainly was a transformation for me, life changing. And there are people online that talk about OBEs. I can immediately tell when they're not truthful. Immediately. If you've ever had one, you would know. There's certain things, certain elements that take place. And for one thing, one important thing, now I'm not saying nobody can force themselves to do an OB. I'm not saying you can't do it, I suppose. But for me, it was always out of my control. It was a pulling force that I had nothing to do with in between sleep, usually very early hours in the morning. And it happened a lot when I was a teenager. And I'll even say, a teenager at an age, a young teenager. So, and they say this is common in teenage girls. Is that true? I'm not sure. But so anyway, there were certain things that I remember really well. I remember a silver cord. We are definitely corded here. We are definitely corded by something invisible. I know that sounds strange and far-fetched, but we are corded here. But if you think about the ether, and you think about that we are in a morphogenic field, if we are in an overlay, if we are in a magnetic field, possibly, I think likely connected with the moon somehow for me. And Hollywood tells us this. You can see this in the shows like The Prisoner. You can see this in Severance. You can see this. So there's some movie even called Souls that I haven't seen. But so from my experience, and like I said, I'll never forget those experiences. It was happening to me for a while, so much that I was scared to go to sleep. I told my parents, like I said, what's going on with me. I remember going to high school thinking I had superpowers, that I knew I was seeing another that they didn't see. But
so do you think someone was trying to get into your body or trying to, what was your interpretation of what was going on? Because I've been using the term tethered for a while. I've never heard anyone say that before.
No, we're tethered.
Now I hear it a lot.
We are tethered.
Now I hear tethered a lot. So what do you think was happening to you when you were going through that?
Well, I can attest to that from having that experience. We're definitely tethered. And that's not the same as trapped by any means. That's not so we're tethered, and it's an invisible cord. And what I remember is, the first thing I remember is the real loud buzzing sound in my ears, which for me, that signifies that we're in a place based on sound. Based on sound.
Do you get tinnitus?
I have horrible tinnitus.
Is it like that? Is it a vibrational sound or just a sound?
Oh, it's vibrational, and it's often like a radio, like a like it has kept me. I'm definitely and what I've looked into with that is those of us that are receivers to this certain frequency that we're talking about will commonly have two things. We'll commonly have tinnitus, and we'll commonly have earworms. Do you have earworms?
No, I don't think so. God, I hope not.
No, it's not real worms. It means that you hear music in your head a lot. Songs.
Oh, yeah, I get tunes that. Yeah, I've never heard of that. Here, I never heard of that before. But yeah, I actually write songs. I used to write songs.
Oh, see, there you go. There you go.
That a lot, yeah.
There you go. But so I always have music in my head to where I can't stop it. And so, I also have the tinnitus. And so what I read too, it means that you come from a different place. Like, this is not your home, is what and you're on this frequency.
I don't think this is anyone's home, to be honest, but
I don't know. Some of them might like it here.
Who would want this?
Some of them might like, who would want this? I know. But what I was going to say with the tethered, I want to reaffirm because you're saying like, but I'm attesting to that fact that when I've had these experiences, and I have not, when people do these videos and they're saying they go to these other magical lands with unicorns and fairies and beautiful, oh, come on. I saw was,
I don't watch those.
Well, I
don't want to say yes, but I'm not watching that.
I'm exaggerating. I'm just being.
I don't know. Some people are probably saying that same thing.
No, I'm just exaggerating. All I mean is, let me say. What I'm saying is that they say that they can tangibly, visibly see something. see something. Now, how on earth is that possible? So when I had my OBEs, which were probably in the double digits, I had many. I was always in darkness. Now, sometimes I could see a faint, like a luminary, like a frequency, a luminary, and I could feel things, but I was outside of the body, but I never saw a place. And so I can remember being a teenager in high school, and a guy would be like trying to date me, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I do astral projection too, and I've been here, and I could come to your room," and I'm like, "You are so none of this is real. That's not true, because when you actually have OBEs, you're still connected to this place."
This existence.
To this plane of existence that we're on, and you're connected to yourself.
So what about dreams? Do you think that we leave it? Do we leave the realm in our dreams? Do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe those of us that are more intuitive, like you and me. Absolutely. Haven't you felt like you've had dreams and you felt like you're literally there? Mine are extremely vivid.
Yeah, and the first one that I can remember having was when I was in college, and I thought I was abducted, and I wrote it down. But I mean, I still have the vividness of the recollection, not of the actual thing. But to come full circle again, that things keep happening to me that happened that I remember later, is I was in an auditorium kind of thing, and somebody was picking out people, and we're in the auditorium, I was sitting down, and somebody came close to me, and I asked them, and I was again lucid and everything. I asked them, I said, "What are you guys looking for?" And they said, "The smell of Windex." And I thought, Windex, like the spray? And then I started thinking, I said, okay, so that makes sense, because if you don't know what something is, you call X, and this place probably has a smell to it, based on the atmosphere or whatever. So the X appeared way before my Xbox, way before Twitter. This is in the late 90s or middle of the late 90s that this happened to me. And I thought I was abducted. But anyway, it was an astral abduction.
But here's where I want to go with that real quick. I know we're going on, but okay, so there's an odor here, right? So if there is Windex in your vision, in your dream, there's an odor. That's 100%. So what is the word odor? It's also door. Portal. Door. Odor, door, right? So when we look at the Wizard of Oz, for example, when Glinda the Good Witch, Dorothy meets her, she says she smells sulfur. So that's another odor. Okay, that's a gas, right? And so Dorothy, look at the word Dorothy. Dorothy is thy door. And then her last name is Gale, which is for wind. So I don't know that I've never seen anyone, where's my Nobel Prize? Because I've never seen anyone else comment on that. But I mean, they're giving us, right? And they gave us clues, and that movie is one of the most symbolic of the nature of our reality, because she goes from black and white to color. But what I was getting at was the smell, because that is in that movie. And from think of the music, the Doors, right? Those are portals. There's portals here. Portals are dimensions. X is a dimension.
They're in water too. I don't know what. I was in the middle of doing a writing at the gym the other morning about portals and doors, and water being a portal. And I don't know where that's going to go, but I was documenting some things about that and looking up some stuff online for waters and doors. And I don't know if you have anything to add to that, or you could fill me in on something.
Water? Well, water, W and M are interchangeable. So what is water? Water is mater. Mater. What is mater? It's Latin for mother. That's your world, right?
Yeah. And that's how we enter. And that's how we enter this world, through water.
It's birth. It's birth, right? Birth, and then with the doctor, birth, birthing canal, right? So absolutely. So is it almost like, do you think, like, I think a lot of times it's invisible, like the firmament, they say, right, is a water above, right? And then that's the mater. So as above, so below. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense?
Yeah. I think that was in my typing of that, as above, so below. And the water, the reflection, and the mirage coming through like a portal. For mirages.
Also, how do we not know that we're not the ones above?
Yep.
Above, we assume as above, so below, but hang on, we're above also. What's below us? I mean,
Yep.
what's below us? Is it other?
Yeah.
I mean, like a Russian, for me, I mean, if it's all consciousness and it's all dimensions, it's all holographic, that means there's infinite amounts. Do you know what I'm saying? Like dimensions. But we are just in this one containment field. And one other thing I want to add, because I know we've been talking a long time, but so a lot of my interest also is language, but it's astrology and the zodiac. And I don't know where you are with that, but there is definitely some. If you look at your birth chart, I'm
You can
sure.
look up my birth chart. Do you know who Ola Wolney is?
Can you send it to me?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on there. I did a birth chart reading with Ola Wolney. Got a lot of views actually. She's a Vedic. She's not an astrologer, she says, but she's a decoder.
Okay, a decoder, right?
You go through my whole chart. If you look up Ola Wolney and my chart, it's on my videos. It's like an hour and a half. She did a great job doing that.
For me, so my thing is art. So I make paintings and I have art. And so I'm always doing these big heads. And I had a gallery in the French Quarter of New Orleans for a while. And they're like these big heads. And then I've incorporated, or I'm gradually incorporating the zodiac, because that's a huge part of our reality is the zodiac, because they are in this containment field with us, the zodiac, the archons, the wandering stars. And for me, when whoever named astrology, the controllers, they named it astro, which by definition is outside of Earth's atmosphere, but they're not. They're with us. The zodiac, that's why it's such a huge part of you, because it is you. So for me, it's astrology, like astral. And so like that's where I'm going with my channel too, as far as like art and astrology. And I've been researching and reading a lot of like Aleister Crowley. And I know some people might say, oh, Aleister Crowley, because you know the whole Jimmy Page thing and how he bought his house. And but there is, I mean, and these books are hard. Some books they're making them obsolete and very expensive, these old zodiac type books. But it's fascinating because it shows that you're in a simulation. It shows that you're in a scripted reality. Their symbols, right? And so I have not found many astrologers that are flat earth based, or let's just say plane of existence based.
Simulationists.
That's a whole new thing. Now I found a couple. One is Norwegian, and we have a session coming up. I'm learning from him. And there's another guy, Wakey. He's really good, but it's very, very rare. And it's kind of like revolutionary. I think a lot of stuff that we are all going with, our group, is revolutionary. But only, but it will never be recognized, obviously, by the masses. But would you really want it? Do you really care? I don't really care.
The more they care, the less interested I would be. And if you want to, I mean, do you do readings?
I'm just starting to, yes. Yes, I'm just starting to. I will look yours up. I mean,
let me know what information you need. I'll send it to you on email if you want to look it up.
Yes, I do, because you can be, like I said, I'm just starting. So, but I'm a very fast, like you said, we have some sort of we are connected to something, right? So we kind of move in a faster pace. We pick up on things, so I am, yes, and I'm actually incorporating that into my art and to my channel. So
nice. Yeah. I'm typing in my email right now.
Okay, good. Yes, definitely send that. And it's interesting how it's all angles and arcs. So I did do a video on arcs. Arcs is a big part of our language that we use. Architecture, archons, archaeology. What are these arcs? Well, the zodiac is based on arcs, right? When two planets are conjunct, they're within a 10-degree arc. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but the controllers of the realm wanted just as well, I did too growing up. Astrology was like for dumb people. It was laughable. Oh, your horoscope, but now I've learned, especially flying with the elites, that they use it for they use it for big dates. They use it for
they should. They're probably 100% on programs. Like they're being controlled, so they want to know what the hell is going on too.
They all have active astrologers, let's say on speed dial. Let's just say everything is they know. But if we're in resets, also that's a whole nother tangent, I know. But if we're in resets, this has already happened before. Everything that's happening now has already happened. That's kind of mind blowing too, isn't it?
Yeah, the first thought I ever had in this world was it's written in the stars. I don't know why that was in my head from the first moment, but that's actually what I saw before I had a precognition for this world. It was I was sitting away from this plane of existence, and I was looking into it like in stillness and in nothingness.
Oh, you were outside of it.
Yeah, before I was born, I had a pre-birth memory. That was one of a couple that I had.
And you knew. So doesn't that tell you, to me, that tells me, does it tell you that that's where we come from? That we come from, like we are all, think about how they use the word star, mass star, cis star, because E is also A with the vowels. So mass star, cis star, monstar, you get a mass star's degree. Degrees is related to the zodiac, right? So did you come from, what I'm saying is did we come from stars? I mean, why do they call celebrities star? We're all stars.
Yep. I have no idea where I came from or what I'm doing here. I don't know. I'm looking it up, but I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe I'll probably never figure it out. I always say that when this is over, if I do perceive my own death, I'm gonna have people going, man, you were really good at that. You did really well. Be like, yep, I just I knew what was going on. I tried to observe it. I knew you guys were watching me.
And then you got a memory wipe.
I'm not getting memory wiped. They're not memory wiping me. That's one reason why I don't think that this is a reincarnation place. That I think that it's a lot of those proofs that we say are reincarnation. It's a psyop. I used to think it was obvious that reincarnation was obvious, right? I mean, you see those stories of kids, and they say these things, and they knew where they were before, and they pilot on fire, all those things. But now I don't think so. I don't think that. I think that's the psyop. I don't believe that I've been here before. I don't think that I've been to this realm before. I think that they want us to accept it and want us to want to come back potentially, but I don't know that I've ever been here before.
Okay, well, here's my theory on that. Here's my theory. I'm with you on reincarnation. And think about being from New Orleans, a very spiritual place. Reincarnation is a big thing. Voodoo, reincarnation, life after death, vampire, all this stuff has been a huge part of my upbringing. However, what I think is we are simultaneous. We are simultaneous carnations. We are. In other words, let's say we're on the same frequency. We are simultaneous. In other words, rather than you being in a past,
you think there were soul fractures?
In a way, for lack of a better word, because English is so limiting, but in a way, yes. Because, okay, let's say that you had a past life vision and you were a shoemaker living in the 1920s in New York. I'm just coming up with that. But actually, if time doesn't exist and we're on a wheel, time doesn't exist, it's happening right now. It's happening right now.
I can perspectualize that, and I can play with that. I'm not saying that that's incorrect. First of all, I don't know anything. I tell everyone I know. I don't know a damn thing. I only know what I'm experiencing.
Right. Yeah, of course.
I do believe that currently what I believe is my theory is that it's not that we experienced those things before in another linear time. I think that's a mind fuck. I think that's just they're trying to mess us up. I think that we have access to those fields of information that we can experience someone else's memories from that astral field. And I think that's what those little kids are doing.
But I think it's happening right now. I think it's happening right now. There is no linear time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah.
Everything beginning and end, if it's a wheel, and I think it's a clock, I think it's a wheel, it's happening right now. So what it could be is that you are having another experience. I think what you're saying is you're having another experience. You're not cognizant of it in this reality, but it's somehow attached to you. Is that what you're saying?
Like, no, I'm saying that I can access it from somebody else's memories.
You can access it.
Cycle. Yeah. I think we can all access those memories and those feelings and those existence times. And I don't think that it was me. Like I think that's what they're trying to make us do. They're trying to jump us on this wheel that's going round and round. They want us to jump in there and go, well, you're having this memory. You had a false memory. You had another life. They want us on that wheel.
But see, I think it's a psyop. For me, it's a psyop. Reincarnation has elements of a psyop. Not that there's not some truth in it, but kind of what you said is similar, a little bit similar to what I think. But there is some truth, but I think that they want to steer you that way. It's the same thing as go to the white light, isn't it? Yeah. So believe in well, hang on. If I'm going to believe in reincarnation, that means I'm going to come right back here.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think that I think that we all get our, and maybe the soul fracture thing has some merit to it, but I don't believe that what I'm playing with right now is that when I'm done, I'm going to have another life, because I'm
I don't believe that.
I'm not doing that.
I don't believe that. No, but I do believe if you were on that frequency and you bought into the reincarnation or soul trap, that person, not you, could have another life.
100%.
That's my thought.
I believe that. I believe that the programming is here and for a purpose, that it wants you to keep doing that over and over again. And that and again, everyone's different. There's not that many soul people on this realm. So
no, there's not.
I think it's illogical to think that everyone, if you believe that we have different boxes of consciousness or soul or origins, I think it's really irresponsible and ignorant to think that we can look at NDEs and say, oh, that's for everyone. Because if you don't have a soul, or you don't have the same level of consciousness that I do, and I don't mean you, I mean anyone, then an NDE doesn't mean shit to me. Someone's experience of a light and being forced to come back here doesn't mean anything to me. Because I don't even know if that guy has a soul or that woman has a soul. If the creators of every individual process would have a say of what happens to you after you're gone, I guess is the way I'm saying it. And if my creator isn't the same as someone else's creator, then that's stupid to think that they have the same NDE that I would have. You still there? Oh.
Ken, are you there?
Yeah, you got kicked off. They didn't like what I was telling you.
Right when it was good, probably the Matrix did that. It was like, yep. I was all ears, and you were saying, and then it went black.
Yeah, no, it's all good. No, I was just saying that if we're not all the same, then how can we expect our afterlife experiences or our NDEs to be the same? They wouldn't be the same. Our creator would make that.
They wouldn't be the same. And why are the reincarnation stories always so similar? Like I was the queen.
That's my point. Yep, you're 100% correct.
Okay, that's your point. Yep. And so,
if they're not sold, if they're not sold individuals, then why would I think my NDE would be the same as their NDE?
Exactly.
It wouldn't be the same. It would be a trick.
No, and you know what? It's like you were saying, when you were saying, let's say you tapped into somebody in another dimension, in another year, another era. You're in, let's say, like you said, you can tap into that. You can connect to that frequency. Well, it's kind of along the same lines as, like I was saying, like how I could be on the plane, and let's say I'm flying some of the elite controllers. Well, they're on a different frequency, but I've somehow, it's given me messages. I've tapped into that. It's along the same line. The same line. So if we're in a waveform, if everything is waveform, right? If everything is waveform and it's frequency, well, just like a radio station, you absolutely could tap into, rather than reincarnation, makes a lot more sense that you could tap into a person in a different dimension, in a different time, in a different life, in a different body. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make you know?
100%. Yep.
And the reincarnation, I think anything, you can tell me what you think about this. For me, a big indicator of something being not based on truth is when it's prevalent everywhere. When you're hearing about NDEs all the time, it's no different than that thing we went through in 2019. I mean, when you're hearing about it so much, even in the truth community, that's a red flag.
Yeah, when it's being pushed. Yeah, and I think a lot of the alien talk or the galactic talk is a lot of MK Ultra stuff. That's even, I don't even know that it's a lie about those things, or that those people are telling lies. I think it's just that that's their reality. And again, if we're not all the same, how do I know what's being experienced from their perspective?
But I think that we are, not to toot our horns, but I'm going to. I think we are an elevated consciousness. Also, I don't know about you, but I feel like I've done this many times. Or let's say, you can put that in any connotation, context you want. Have I lived many, many times in this life? Well, if it's just an experience, I could have just experienced it.
You could have experienced many things. Yep.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like nothing, you don't feel like you're new here, do you? I don't think. I mean,
it's not that I think everything is new to me. It
in
is.
A way, right?
I think that was an old soul, but I think that it's just it's a level of discernment and understanding that happens for whatever reason. I don't know that I've been here before. I don't know that I've lived before. I don't know. It makes sense to say that, but again, my conundrum is, this is the only thing that I can recall. This is the only thing that I can have my awareness into. And to say that it's not my first life, why would I not remember anything? Mind wiped? Well, then why am I not mind wiped right this second? Like that. Some things don't line up.
Well, right, but your mind wiped every time when you wake up from a dream.
Yes and no. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to
agree. You remember elements of it. You remember right. Fragments. You remember fragments.
But why? But why are we not? Why is our awareness here right now? Is my question. If time is indeed not linear, and if we've been here many times, why is it that I'm now focused on this one time, this one moment? I'm in the present. Like that to me is a conundrum that I don't know how to disprove or prove.
But I think it's an evolution. Don't you feel like you've evolved? You're in a state of evolution, because you're surpassing. Like, think about how you feel. I hate to use this word because it's an Illuminati word, but you're enlightened, and we're enlightened in a way that is transforming. I mean, we are in a transformation, like a metamorphosis. Would you agree? I mean, we have, and even more so recently. And let's say the waves have opened up more with this realm. We have access. We have a direct link. Somehow we are getting these messages. And like you say, they're on the program. They're on a different program. If you believe in the galactic, whatever, you're on a certain program, right? Yeah. And it's not your fault. I mean, you're right. They don't know any different. I mean, MK Ultra is used in the prisons. It's used in I mean, actually, if truth be told, everyone we know, even family and friends that we're closest to, a lot of them are MK Ultra, because isn't essentially everyone's on a program. Because we're a type of computer, and we're on the motherboard. We're like a computer. So one thing I have in my notebook that I wrote down a while ago, and I'll tell you this, because I know we've got to wrap up soon. I know I do. I'm sure you do. But like philosophy, for example, Plato, Socrates, and Plato was very like more flat plane of existence type of reality. And even though a lot of that's false, and did any of these people really exist? You know, probably not, or they didn't exist here. But philosophy is like, when you look at the word life, life for me, it hit me one day, and no one can change my mind on this. The experience we have is like a data file. It's a file. A life is like a file. And then the body is the vessel. That's the computer. And you're on the motherboard, which is the grid, which is the matrix, which is decoded like zeros and ones. And you're experiencing just like a computer. Like, who's to say that the brain isn't just an acronym for like a bio receiving antenna intelligence? Right. Neurotransmitter. I'm saying we're like a computer. You're having an experience. And I don't mean that you don't have a soul, because actually there's a spirit element to even a computer. I mean, what does the computer do? It goes to sleep. We go to sleep. You know, when everybody was getting, one that came to me recently, remember, I don't know if I can say this word. Can I say the word booster? Can I say
Yeah, I
that?
think so. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll try it. But when you rearrange those letters, you have reboot. You get rebooted. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's so many, it's so analogous. There's so many comparisons to a computer. So we're having experience, which goes exactly back to the soul trap, like you were saying, in reincarnation, which ultimately we've tapped into other lines in a computer grid or a frequency. Do you get what I'm saying here?
Yep. Yeah.
And philosophy for me is like philosophy. Like there's bibliophile, pedophile. These are all files though. And this is an experience. You're in a file of a type of matrix. But I don't mean that to dehumanize. I don't mean to say that in a way that it's not dehumanizing though, because we are in human form, obviously.
Well, and I mean, no matter what somebody's thoughts are about what we are putting into perspective as a theory, it still doesn't change the fact that we have to act a certain way, or
Yeah.
we have an empathetic aspect to what we do anyway. You know, just because a dog's not a human, I'm not going to kick my dog. I'm not going to kick a tree. No, those kind of things. You still have to act a certain way because you are at a certain level, or you want to be at a certain level, or you aspire to be at a certain level. Doesn't change that fact.
Well, I have a question for you. Do you ever feel like, okay, like for example, I'm in an acting group and I really enjoy it. And since you believe in the zodiac, you can understand when I say I'm a Leo. So I'm pretty dramatic. I come from a theatrical family. Like I love to do these sorts of things I can stand up in front of strangers in an auditorium. I was doing that at a young age. So I don't mind that. But here's what I want to ask you. I was thinking about this last night. Do you ever feel like when you're let's say you're with a group, good friends, whatever, you're at dinner with family, whatever, do you uphold the charade? Do you shrink yourself to be one of them? Do you feel like it's a waste of time if you put out these theories and ideas that you have that are do you uphold the charade and you become one of them, or are you true to your true nature even in the midst of the NPCs?
Both, and I think that I've done a lot of self-reflection as far as what I want to experience. I try to experience. So in some context, I'll uphold the charade because I want to do it. Or it may not be a charade. I could be just enjoying the moment of watching a football game or a basketball game or whatever it might be. I really believe that when I went inward a few years ago, I started asking myself a lot of these questions. Why do I do this? Why do I do that? Why am I here? And I came back to the answer that I'm here for the experience and for the touch. I'm here to experience, the love, the empathy, and I'm even here to experience the suffering, to be honest. Some of my greatest accomplishments in my life have been there because I've been put in that situation for whatever reason it was. I don't run from suffering. I don't want to experience it in most times in my life, but even taking a cold shower, those kind of things, I want to experience these things. And that's why I do those things, to answer your question. I don't do it to act a certain way for anybody else's benefit. Because like I said, we may be in the Truman Show anyway. Like nothing we may do may make a lick of difference to anybody else. And it could be all a charade, all an act.
But it
I'm not
does
doing it for that reason.
But it does, because think about how much you've learned and evolved. I know I have. I mean, like we said in the beginning, it's like a blessing and a curse, because I mean it's pretty amazing all the things that have come to me, the compilations that I've with my research and reading and writing and everything that's happened, even the astral projection, all the experiences are just, no pun intended, but out of this world.
Yeah, they're experiences. I mean,
so we think, there's a reason.
Yeah.
But is there a reason? That's the answer we don't know.
Yeah.
But
no, we don't know, right?
But I sometimes it's this innate feeling, because some of this is telepathy and intuition that we have on this frequency that we're on, and I do think that it could be leading to something. We don't know what it is yet, but that's what made me become like I have a very new channel, and I'm going to tell you right now, I am heavily like shadow banned. because when I was first coming out of the closet, so to speak, I guess I was so aggravated. Maybe you were too. When you're a little bit, you're like, what? This world, nothing is right here. None of this makes sense. Why are all these people doing this? And so I was a little bit, I went against the algorithm didn't like me on the computer. And I'm sure you experienced that too. If you said something against the program, let's say, right? So if you said something in opposition, you would, you're down on the algorithm
If
knows.
you're paying attention, if you're paying attention, it happens to you in real life too. No matter whether you're on a YouTube video or whether you're at the grocery store. Like I feel like that all the time. I'm human, I guess. I get upset with 3 cars coming my way in the middle of the night, and I'm going, really? Like, there's nobody on this freaking road, and now I got to wait here for 5 minutes at a light that nobody's at. It happens in real life. So to answer your question, yes, I think that we're being, at the very least, monitored or watched. I think it's a lot of DNA and data collection on people to try to figure out something. Now, what it is, I don't know, but we're all being shadow banned and watched, I think, and for what reason, I don't know. But again, you're free to experience it. When you're done experiencing that, and when you want to let go, you just surrender and you just say, "Forget it, it's over," and that's a lesson in itself.
Right, absolutely. No, I definitely. It's pretty amazing, but I think it's a good for people like, well, you're experienced at this. I'm very new to talking, and you sit there and you talk to yourself, and that's very odd. But you feel like it feels very strange. But you feel like you have to put this knowledge somewhere, don't you?
I do, and
Yeah.
I have on my phone. I need to go through it, but I probably have 5-6 years of notes. 5 in the morning, sitting at the gym, stretching or doing whatever, just typing in notes, and might sit there for 2 hours some days and do nothing but just get my ideas out. And you have to do it. At least I do. It's very soothing. It's meditative. Depending on what you want to get from it. Maybe nothing right now. Maybe something later. Who knows?
Well, for me, I hope it. I mean, the language and the symbols, astrology, all this stuff. I think it needs to be out, and maybe it will help because there is a lot of suffering. A lot of people confuse. I mean, like, where am I? Who am I? So there are codes, there are symbols and signals and messages, and so I think at least for people, there's a place that they can go and you can find others going through the same experience, because it can be difficult when you're with groups, with NPCs, and they're not on a different frequency, and you must kind of, I mean, I felt like I've had to adjust my and that's okay too, actually. Like you said, you watch a football game, I mean, that's totally fine too. It's for the experience, but it's nice to have an outlet as well. So that's kind of what has turned me onto it, actually.
Yeah, it is nice to be able to get it down, or just, again, it's meditative for me. It's soothing to just do it, whether anything comes out of it or not. I don't know. I used to be on a show with a guy. His name was Chad, and Chad would always say the same thing. So, I'm not sure why I'm doing this, because I'm shadow banned, or I'm never going to get the views. I'm not making any money. And I just look at him going, I understand, but I can't sympathize with you because you're doing it for the wrong reason. And I don't want to make it sound like that I'm holier than art thou or whatever, but it's, if you're not getting the results you want from that, you just have to let it go. You have to. At some point, you have to let it go. Maybe it'll turn back, maybe it won't. But, it's the soul trap argument again, all over again. Like, are you the victim? You're the victim every single day? Come on. I mean, let's get over that.
I question those that are driven by the material a little bit. And I will say that I think I told you in my background, and in my mother's side, I mean, coming from a very rich family, especially, and growing up with money and things like, I will say that I notice people that will grow up with money a lot, or being exposed to that, can be a little bit different in that you can lose that drive, or you can see it as not, I don't find fulfillment in it. Whereas, and I'm not even going to say that in relation to somebody growing up poor, but what I want to say is when in the truth community, when I see people who are here for material reasons, I don't, not that I don't trust them, I do. Everybody needs to make some money. Hey, I get it.
It makes you question them.
But it makes you question their validity and the authenticity and where is it coming from. And because the money eventually will come, and I understand it because you're putting in your time and effort to a degree. But truth be told, if you are here to, let's say, help other souls gain a greater understanding of the realm, of their place in existence, and on any capacity, whether it's language, symbols, numbers, astrology, anything, then what you're doing, I mean, you can't put a value on that. And the monetary system, just like the people I've flown over the years, I mean, the monetary system, where its roots, it's not a real thing. It's not a real, and those of us that are elevated consciousness, I can never be, now, I mean, I come from a position where financially I'm fine. So, but it's still hard for everyone. I don't care who you are. Still, they're not going to make this experience. They're not making it easy. So
no, and there's a negative attachment with energy as well, and it is a currency. And when you're, I believe that nothing good will come from that, in my opinion. So I agree with you.
Well, I feel more trusting of the nomads, the ones, the philosophical, nomad types that are here. They're only here with one reason, and that's why I'm doing this. So for me personally, is just I want to get out what I know, and you also want to find like-minded individuals, don't you? You want to know others that are on your frequency.
Yeah, it helps. It definitely helps your evolution as well too, as a, I don't know what to say, content creator, but in your evolution of what you're trying to do personally, either spiritually or just whatever you're trying to get to, it helps. They're your muse or your creative forces, your creative spices to help.
Right, absolutely. Well, I want to say that I know we've talked a long time, and I could go. If you mention one word, I'll go on for another hour. But
my dog's got to go outside. He's sleeping right. He's laying down right now, but
I know.
I barking in a second.
You said you're in Florida, right? Are you in Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Tampa area.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I've flown there quite a bit. St. Petersburg, Tampa, yeah, Orlando. That's very nice. So that's cool.
Let me know when Elon gets here. I can ask him what X means, because I'm sure he knows.
Someone asked me too. They're like, I think it was that astrologer. She's like, you should have. Did you grab his? No, I can't say that word. His lower. And I said, no, I wouldn't do. I said that would be the last thing I know, of course not, because he's not
down there. So what's down there? Nothing. Maybe nothing. Who knows?
Well, as I said, we won't get off on that again, but I mean, that has certainly, let's just say that over the years, flying the different entities has certainly affected my perception. And that's a unique kind of perception in our community. So
it is. It's a very unique perspective as well. So
I really enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, it was great. I will try to post this tomorrow. I may not post all of it at once. Maybe I'll do it in sections because it's almost 2 hours. But I will send you the link when I do. And if you have an astrology reading for me, go ahead and let me know.
I would love to. It'll be your astrology, because I've patented the term. I'm patenting this term. So now you've got it on record. Astrology, which is more accurate because it's in our atmosphere, right? Makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep.
And
so this is your YouTube channel, correct? This is your Reword Your Reality. Is that correct?
That's right.
All right. So if you guys want to follow her or ask questions, this may be shadow banned. We may have said too much, but it eventually will get out there to the right people. If it found you, leave us a like and a comment. Thanks for watching. Any last words you would like to let these 20 people know?
Thanks, guys. And I'd love to reconnect with some others who have questions or who feel the same way as far as the matrix and the patterns and language, the stars and everything, the afterlife, everything we've talked about. I would love to hear from you.
We didn't get into the afterlife. We'll do that. We'll do that next time. We'll set up a time.
We're going to do that next time. I have plenty of time. Actually, in my notebook, there's several things we didn't. So we have more material.
Very good. Very good. All right. Well, we'll email back and forth to get another time.
And,
that's good for you.
You know what? I'll tell you another thing. I've talked to Rob a lot. We're friends and we email and stuff. And so maybe sometime we can do the three of us. Because he's asked me. Cool. He asked me a few months ago, and I forgot to answer him. But he said, I'd like to have you on. So maybe that's something we could all do together. Yeah,
Rob's a friend of mine. I actually met him when he came to St. Pete about 2 months ago. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think he's a wonderful, wonderful person.
Yep. Yeah, he is. He's a cool dude. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time. And I will shoot you the link when this is done. And I'll email and text Rob and see when he's available as well. We can make that happen.
Yeah, it was great talking with you, Ken. Very enlightening.
Right. Very good. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Thanks.